I know a lot of you are in the same boat that I'm in. You're looking to make your home a haven. You're decluttering, you're cleaning and tidying, but maybe you want to go a step deeper. Maybe you're interested in eliminating those toxins from your home. That's where I am. I'm getting these toxins out. I believe that there are some small changes you can make, literally very small changes that are going to have a huge impact on your health, a huge impact on your well-being, a huge impact on your home. So today I am sharing 10 very common items. I know that you have some of these items in your home. I definitely have over the years, but these are 10 items that I'm not going to be using anymore. I'm not going to be buying them. I'm not going to be bringing them into my home. And you may decide to keep on using some of these, but once I share them, I think you can go without them, and I don't think you're going to miss them at all. So I am so sick of this one that I'm going to share. And when I share this, you're going to know that you're using it too, because it's really hard to not be using it. And I brought one to show you. I am so tired of scented trash bags. You may think that these aren't a big deal. You put them in your garbage can and it's not a big deal. But let me tell you what I've noticed. A couple of things. Do you use the black ones? I know a lot of people use the white ones. If you use the black ones, first of all, when I open this, the huge smell wafting throughout the whole kitchen, and I can smell it for days. And I really hate the smell of nice things mixed with the smell of trash. I can't stand that. But what I've also noticed is if you open this bag and if you feel inside, there is a powdery substance. And I think that that is what the scent is on. I think that the scent is in here. And I'm sorry, but this scent contains a lot of chemicals. That powdery substance, I want to wash my hands right now. I think it contains PFAS. I'm not certain, but that is what I would imagine because that's how they get it in there. And what I think too is when I use these scented trash bags, I can smell them in my kitchen for days. And they don't tell you what chemicals are in that fragrance, right? So we have no idea what we're even breathing in when we smell that. So let me give you an alternative. Simply get unscented trash bags. But I was just online trying to find some, and it's pretty difficult. It took me a long time to find the exact size that I wanted that was also unscented. I'm going to put on the screen a few brands that I found. These are ones that are unscented, but when you're searching online or when you're in the grocery store buying your trash bags, just look for unscented or fragrance-free. That is going to go a long way and get this toxin out of your house. We are not using these anymore. While we're talking about scents, let me just talk to you about a kind of less obvious source of chemicals that we're introducing into our bathroom. And that's scented toilet paper. Now, this roll isn't scented. This is actually a good brand of toilet paper that I'm going to share in a second. But what happens with this toilet paper is that the whiter and fluffier your toilet paper is, the more chemicals it includes. That is just a fact of life. I am going to link some research about this, and I'm actually going to link all of the research I did for this video below in case you want to do some additional digging on your own. But it's not just the scent in the toilet paper that is causing the problem. I'm going to put up a list of chemicals that toilet paper can contain. And it's actually quite scary because what happens, all of the chemicals that you see here, they can actually penetrate the skin and enter the bloodstream, potentially causing havoc in your body. So I've shared before that I am using Scott toilet paper. I was using bamboo because I wanted toilet paper without the forever chemicals, the PFAS that gets into the toilet paper in the manufacturing process. However, because that toilet paper is always originating from China because it's bamboo, I just can't really see shipping toilet paper across the world. So I've gone back to Scott because Scott was tested by Momavation. That is a consumer watchdog group that I've shared before, and they were tested to have undetectable levels of PFAS. They also use a chlorine-free bleaching process. Now, I know Scott isn't perfect, but that's the brand I'm going to be using at the moment. So this next one's on my list, and I actually didn't really think that a lot of people were still continuing to use it. My comment suggestions suggest otherwise. It is oven cleaner. This is what a lot of people are using to clean their oven, and I'm going to tell you in a second what else they're doing with it, which is just really bad. Oven cleaners are one of the most powerful chemicals that you can bring into your home. We don't want that. What happens with oven cleaners as well is they're often a spray formula, and so you're spraying it into your oven. So not only are you putting the chemical into the place where you cook all of your food, you're also creating this airborne substance that you're breathing in. And I get it. When it cleans your oven and you've wiped it away, you think it's gone. It's not gone. You can smell it every time you turn on your oven, and I guarantee you tiny particles are getting into everything that you're cooking. But I see a lot of hacks with people using oven cleaner to clean their pots and pans. This is horrifying to me. You should not be using such a strong cleaner on something that you're cooking food in. It's just not necessary. It is risky. And why expose yourself to the chemicals when you don't need to? My suggestion, of course, never use oven cleaner, but if you need to clean your oven, and I probably do this once a year, I don't go too crazy, and I use my oven a lot. I simply use either a mixture of baking soda with some dish soap. Sometimes I'll do that. Or I use the Scrub Daddy Power Paste. That is naturally derived substances. It's fantastic. And actually that cleans my oven really well. I've done some videos and shorts on it because I was very impressed with it. So I definitely recommend that. And I'll link it below if you've never tried it. I really think it's a great cleaner. So moving on to number 5, and I've shared this one before, but I'm no longer using makeup with questionable ingredients. And I'm talking about things like phthalates and parabens. That's why I'm so excited to say that I've teamed up with Merit for today's video. Let me talk to you about them. They are fantastic. Merit is minimalist beauty with vegan, cruelty-free, and non-comedogenic products. I've actually been using Merit for a little over a year now, and the reason I got into them in the first place is the topic of a lot of my videos, because their products are formulated without the things that I'm trying to avoid, like parabens, phthalates, sulfates, formaldehydes. What I'm excited to talk about is this brand new product that just launched. This is called the Uniform. This is a mineral sunscreen, and if you've watched some of my videos, you know that I only use mineral sunscreens. I don't use any of the chemical sunscreens. So the Uniform is a broad spectrum UVA, UVB protection. It has SPF 45, and as you can see, it's a sheer tint and it blends right in. I mean, summer is here, and the way that Merit designed the Uniform is to be used as a base. And then of course you can use it year round. I wear sunscreen on my face every day. Just some advice from Aunt Taryn here. If you are not wearing sunscreen on your face, it is a must. Photo aging is so bad for your skin. It is completely wrecking your collagen. After I've applied the Uniform, I'm just going to go in with this stick that I also use. I love this stuff. You can just put it exactly where you need. Our skin basically needs some contrast, and so you never want to just put a mask of foundation on your skin. You want to just spot conceal and blend it in where you can. And then this way your skin actually looks younger. Sorry, I'm like right up in your face here, but I want you to see this. I also put on, they have this bronze balm, and I'm going to put this on. I use bronzer every day and blush. I really love the cream formula of these. And I just kind of blend that in. The blush colors are to die for. I got rouge here. I'm going to link everything for you, but I honestly have several Merit blush colors now, and I don't think you could go wrong with any of them. And since I mentioned lip balm, this is another Merit product that I love. I mean, I love all of them. I wear this every day, and I also wear it when I'm filming, and a lot of you guys ask me what color this is. Also, the everything bag is back, and it's here for a limited time, so it ships free with orders over $125. I've linked exclusive discounted sets in the description below for you to get up to 15% discount. Use my code at checkout and you will get a free everything bag with orders over $125. Thank you so much to Merit for sponsoring today's video, and don't forget to check my code down below. We love them. This next one, and I'm not going to belabor this because I've shared it before, but I do need to mention it because a lot of you say that you like when I repeat things, and also not the same people are watching all of my videos. I see my analytics and sometimes I get different people, but Nonstick Cookware and Bakeware. So, okay, this pan is in pretty rough shape. We don't use this pan. I'm keeping it simply as a prop, but let me just tell you, my husband got this. He's been at his company for over 5 years, and he got it as a gift for being there, and he was excited. He picked it. It is one of those new healthy nonstick ceramic pans, and it is coated in some sort of coating. It was nonstick for the first couple of months, and then something happened. It's no longer nonstick. So what that means is that the coating has been somehow compromised. There are maybe microscopic scratches. I think I can actually see some scratches with my eye. So that means this coating is leaching into your food. And I don't know what's in this coating. I'm actually going to put up so you can see. I did reach out to this company and I asked them if they could tell me what was in the coating, because I looked online and it was all about what's not in the coating. It was like lead-free, Teflon-free, all these things. And I asked them, can you please tell me what is in the coating, not what it is free of. I'd like to know what it's made of. So then they sent me some tests. Again, those tests really just showed that it was lead-free, Teflon-free. And so he is requesting the information for me and they're going to send it to me in my email. So that was a couple of hours ago this morning. I still haven't received that information. Hopefully I'll receive that soon. And if I do, I'm going to put it up here so that you all can see. Guys, it's as I feared. They are not disclosing what the coating is made of in the pan. But that's the thing. I don't know what's in this coating. I don't know what's in other coatings. A lot of times, and I'll just tell you this, and you can kind of take this and do what you will, but man-made chemicals, sometimes we will use them for years and then find out they're dangerous. Then they will create some sort of replacement chemical that does the same thing, but they don't yet know if it's dangerous or not. So it's touted as the next new best thing. But then guess what? Years go by and they find out again that it's dangerous. This happened with BPA and the BPA replacement. My advice, just don't use nonstick. You don't need nonstick. This is what I recommend. Cast iron is great. Stainless steel is great. There's so many great options. You can cook on this forever. It's back to basics for me. You're gonna think this next one is weird, but I have been acutely aware of this for, I would say, at least 10 years, possibly 15 years, and I'm very careful when I touch this thing. It is receipts. I will never use receipts. I don't like to touch them. I do not handle them. If I do, because sometimes it's inevitable, I will immediately wash my hands. I don't think a lot of people know this, but the paper that the receipts are printed on, as well as the ink, is highly toxic. The paper contains BPA, which is the exact chemical that they've phased out of a lot of baby bottles and plastics. You know, you'll see that a lot now, BPA free, but it is still in that receipt paper. And when you touch it, it will instantly get absorbed into your skin. I feel terrible for cashiers who have to touch this, but you know what? I do see a lot of them wearing gloves these days. So let me just tell you this stat, and I will put this up because this is the kind of shocking thing I found out when I was researching this video. Holding a receipt for 10 seconds can cause the skin to absorb enough of the highly toxic chemical to violate California's safety threshold. So right now there's now legal action. So the Center for Environmental Health, they have sent violation notices to about 50 major retailers I know you're shopping at, I'm shopping at them. And that includes, and I'm just gonna put up a handful of like some of the more common ones, but it's Burger King, Dollar General, Subway, Ace Hardware. This is just a few. But just so you know, BPA is illegal in Europe. It is still being used here in the US. Be very careful with your receipts. Don't get them at the store. Try not to touch them. If you do touch them, wash your hands. And don't save them. Don't hang on to them. BPA is completely linked to hormone disruption, cognitive damage. It interacts with your hormones, so you have lower sperm count, higher incidences of breast cancer. It's terrible stuff. Moving on. So this one is one to never have. And if you need a replacement, I'll tell you what to use, but it's a plastic cutting board. I have talked about this before, but I still see commenters and you guys telling me, well, I need to put my cutting board in the dishwasher. You do not need to do that. And actually, you don't want to do that. You don't want to ever put plastic in the dishwasher. Get yourself a wooden cutting board. Throw out your plastic one or use it for something else. Maybe you can repurpose it for something. Get yourself some wood. This is uncoated maple, and I'm going to link some affordable ones because you can find some that are the same price as the plastic ones. And what happens? You just wash this with soap and water. Sometimes if you want, you can use some coarse salt and a lemon. I've seen that before. There's a misconception that this traps bacteria. These are actually antimicrobial. And even if bacteria gets into these tiny little cuts and things, guess what? It dies and it's fine. So don't worry about the bacteria. I'm telling you, I've been using this for years. We wash it with soap and water. We're all alive and fine. And I use this multiple times a day. And if you're still worried, by the way, they do sell glass and titanium cutting boards. Those are great. I've never owned those, but a lot of people love them. If you enjoy content that helps you simplify your home and your life, you're in the right place. Click the button below. The next one is something that a lot of people have, and when I go into their bathroom, I can instantly smell it. It is the vinyl shower curtain. Those are made out of PVC, and you can always smell them. And when you can smell something, it is your clue that it contains VOCs. Those are volatile organic compounds, and you are breathing those small particles in. And when you're in the shower, it's even worse. Get yourself a cloth shower liner. You can get what I have. I have a liner, and then I have a cotton shower curtain. The best part is I toss them both into the washer. They're completely clean. I've owned them for years and years. They last forever. So much better than the vinyl. Okay, moving on to something that I used to use probably about 3 or 4 times a week because I don't wash my hair every single day. And I'm going to tell you something that's a little bit old and they're fixing it, but I'm going to tell you why I'm telling it to you. It is dry shampoo. You may remember this, but a few years ago, there was a huge recall of dry shampoo because it contained benzene, and people were spraying this benzene on their hair and it was becoming airborne. And what's even crazier is that the highest amounts of benzene were actually found in this popular brand called Not Your Mother's, and they tout, very clean quality ingredients. Also Batiste, which I was using, Sunbum, and John Paul Mitchell systems. Now, of course, since that came out, they are removing the benzene, and I think they're probably trying to fix the formulas. I stopped using it then and there. And the reason why I'm telling you this is not to tell you to stop using your dry shampoo, although I think you could. I encourage you to think about anything that you are using in your personal care that's airborne, that you're spraying. That could include shaving cream, deodorant. A lot of these have propellants like butane or propane, and all of this is derived from petroleum. They harvest the crude oil and then they turn it into these propellants. But the FDA has confirmed that if there is a propellant in something that you're using, that it is a potential source of benzene contamination. So what's also surprising though is that the FDA, and I'm going to put this up, they have not set benzene limits for cosmetics. So they do say that products shouldn't contain any poisonous or deleterious substances, but in applications, they allow levels of 2 parts per million of benzene if its use is unavoidable in order to produce a drug product with a significant therapeutic advance. I will link an article about this, but it's not being well regulated. It only got discovered in the dry shampoo because someone decided to test it. What are they going to test next? Where are they going to find that benzene next? Easy fix here. Stick to creams, lotions. When I see people spraying that sunscreen at the beach or at the pool, I die every time. Okay, so this last one, I don't use these anymore, but I am very sad about it because I used to let my kids use this all the time. And it is bath bombs. Mamavation spot tested some bath bombs and they did some research, so I'm gonna link that. They actually found some very disturbing information about these bath bombs. And one of the things is with these bath bombs, they do not tell you the ingredients in the bath bomb. And Mamavation actually even reached out to these manufacturers themselves to find out the ingredients, and they never got responses from most of these companies. But they did test some of these bath bombs, and I'm going to put on the screen what they found because some of the ingredients that they found are pretty scary, and these are things you need to watch out for. They did also find a couple that were safe and healthy, and so I can link those if you do still want to use bath bombs, but I encourage you to be very careful because you put these bath bombs in the tub and then you're sitting in these chemicals. You're breathing in these fragrances that they've added. You're not only ingesting it through inhalation, it's also being absorbed into your skin, and some of these bath bombs even contain glitter, which is a source of microplastic pollution, just all around bad. Okay guys, thank you so much for watching. I'm thinking of doing a part 2 to this video. Let me know below if you'd be interested in that because I know I did 10 things and I didn't want the video to be too long, but I actually have another 10 things that I can totally share. And in the meantime, if you want to watch anything, I'm going to link a playlist here. Click on it and I'll see you over there, and don't forget to subscribe. Bye-bye.